what may have happened is social media may have potentiated the opinion sphere, if you like. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, but suddenly opinions begin to have a lot of traction out there in cyberspace because people are tweeting them, putting them up on Facebook, feeling that they are empowered by being able to publish their views.
Well, let's talk about the two big events that I suppose are driving this. We've got Brexit in our own country and, of course, the election of Donald Trump. Didn't both sides, though, in those campaigns, didn't they both indulge in a bit of post-truth telling?
Well, naturally enough, there are going to be polemics, and there's going to be rhetorical devices used by people, because of course the fact that people are motivated by what they feel, by their emotions, being a long-standing fact, means that if you want to try to get people on your side of the argument, you have to speak to those emotions. So both sides have done it. But I think in the Brexit case here, my own very strongly held view that on the Leave side of the argument, the people who were putting the case for Leave had clocked something, which was that if you put out something that you know to be a lie or a piece of misinformation, you know that the media are going to pick up on it and they're going to broadcast it, and that the retraction is going to come later, or the fact-checking is going to come later. So you can put out a misleading statement, and then later on in the day you can say, oh, actually, yes, I did get it wrong, the numbers are not quite like that.
We do have to balance that. What about on the Remain side? You know, the idea that the world would be a less safe place, there may be more wars, that there'd have to be an emergency budget, that the NHS would suffer. There were all kinds of claims there on the Remain side as well.
Unfortunately, they look as if they might have a tincture of truth to them. I mean, people criticised the Remain campaign for being very much a sort of fear-based campaign, because they were pointing out the consequences of what might happen to the economy, to the international sphere. And alas, already it looks as though at least some of the things that they said were correct. But when you look at the kinds of arguments that said, oh, we're giving so much money to the EU, let's give it all to the NHS instead, and then that turns out to have been entirely a rhetorical ploy, that is classic post-truth. That is classic use of a manipulative device which really probably did have an effect on people.